Hi guys, thought I would do an update on the project we've been working on. Um, we're towards the finish line on this unit. We've got quite a bit of it ready. There's clearly a few more things to do. But we're really just a couple days away from, I believe, or maybe a week or two before this unit is going to be ready to rent. We got all the heaters, we got most of the painting done. There's a couple of touch-ups that needs to be done, like this whole wall will probably need another coat and touch-ups at the top. Right here we're going to be putting the heat recovery system, so we're going to be building a closet around that. Then yeah, here's the LVL we put. We covered that up. Opened up the space in here. We got the kitchen and appliances already in with the countertops. Yeah, over here looks pretty nice, except for some shitty paint job. And yeah, we got the new double sink. Dishwasher. Around the corner we got the washer and dryer. We got the washer at the bottom there. The dryer is just standing outside there. We're gonna be on top of it. And for the most part that's done. Downstairs is in a similar situation. I think just the kitchen needs a little bit more work. Then there's minor kind of trim stuff that needs to be still done. But the plan is, well, inside at least is going to be done in the next week or two. And then we still got to do the cleanup of the backyard, getting rid of that shed, or at least moving it to the other side of the backyard, because this is going to be parking, double parking. I didn't want the tenants to fight over who's parking in front, who has to move their car, and so forth. So we're just gonna have the driveway go all the way to the back, have a double parking in the back. The deck needs to be done, and then the entrance to the basement. We have the door and everything else, but we need to pour the concrete, do the drainage, and put the walls around it. And yeah, otherwise, so just probably about 2-3 weeks away from being done. We've been saying that for the past 2-3 weeks. But yeah, you got all kinds of delays between weather, between concrete guys just screwing us over and not showing up at all, leaving a mess in the other property, not doing anything in here. Kind of, part of the business. So delays are very common in construction, and so we're just gonna deal with it. At the end of the day, we're making a profit, maybe smaller than anticipated because of the delays, because of the contractors not doing their job, or not showing up, or altogether leaving with your money, or all kinds of stuff like that, gaps and whatnot. Improper installation of floors that I don't know how we'll deal with it. At this point, the baseboards are already in. I think they were telling me they were expecting thicker baseboards and all kinds of stuff, but we might just leave it as is. We might just buy a thin half-inch piece and just strip it, put it at the bottom of the whole thing to cover up that stuff, and walk around a couple of rooms or a couple of other stuff. You're not gonna actually notice it if some of them have it, some of them don't. You kind of have to come up with creative solutions to those kind of problems, because redoing the whole thing makes no sense. And so you come up with patches. I come from the software world. Most of it is patches. No one is actually doing their work properly from the get-go. It takes years and a great team to actually get stuff done properly. So what you're left with is patches. Like I already can see that. Not sure what's exactly happening, but this side is wider gap than the other side. Yeah, there's like a slight slope in here, so I'm not sure if the cabinets are level or not, or the ceiling is just not level. But again, I noticed that stuff. For the most part, you walk in, you look down, you look at the counters, you look at the fridge, you look at the other stuff. No one is going to be actually looking at those small things and the gaps in the hallways and whatnot. You look, it's nice floor, tons of natural light, nice big space, new appliances, new kitchen, new bathrooms. All that other stuff. If it's not perfect, no one is actually going to notice until they look at it very carefully. And like here, I can see that there's a patch here versus the rest of it, and all kinds of stupid things like that. But I've seen properties in much worse shape and sell for still crazy prices. So there you go, light. And yeah, we got the mirror in here. This is pretty much done. The plumbing underneath it is done as well. Toilet, I assume, is connected. Yep, connected to the water and everything, so that's operational. This needs to be, they already marked it where those pieces go. That's my second time using it. I'm not going to be buying this stuff anymore. This is way too cheap, and feels way too crappy. I thought that it was a 3-piece kind of thick, like a 1/4 inch plastic, but apparently not. So you buy some of those, you sell some of those properties if you don't think that they're gonna last long enough, right? When you buy and hold, you want them to last for a while. Either way, those properties are gonna last quite a bit, and gonna make quite the profit. People are going to be able to refinance them if we sell them, and so forth. But some things you kind of adjust as you go. You see what appliances work, what countertops work, what floors work, and what don't. Like, that's the second time we bought those. I don't think I'm going to buy them again. While they're actually have rock in them and they're supposed to be really high quality, you walk on them and they feel super cheap on your feet. While you walk on them, they bend, make all kinds of sound. They feel very plasticky, very shitty, especially where it's not a perfect connection. You can feel it so well. Like the other property, the downstairs didn't have a completely leveled floor for the foundation concrete there, and it was the worst. There's locations where it's like a 1/4 inch higher in one spot than the other, and you walk on it and it just bounces underneath your feet, and it's just terrible. So yeah, you kind of learn as you go. So again, this time I took the thinner, cheaper trims. Apparently they're harder to work with because they're easy. They break easy. And holy crap, terrible job here. But and they don't cover as much, so you can see more of the mistakes and the gaps that they leave. So next time I'm probably just gonna go square, thicker stuff, so we don't need to cut the 45s and that kind of stuff. Save us quite a bit of time. Same goes with those. The guy I had in here took forever to cut them, and he was like, the boxes are not square and all that kind of stuff. It's not as easy as just putting it at a 45 on the table. So, and cutting it, they're not actually 45s. Those boxes are not square, and so you have to mess around with it until you get the right angle. And you don't want to have huge gaps and other stuff. You can always fill those in, but you don't want to. So when I told them to not try and get it perfect, It's already, I think, filled in here, but there used to be quite a gap in here. So stuff that, you know, wastes a lot of time, and for what? Yeah, I could have just spent a few more bucks and it would have went much faster, and then we wouldn't have had to patch this stuff here, for example. So yeah, you kind of have to find the balance between the materials and how much labor is associated with some of those. And yeah, that's about it for the update. I'm not gonna go downstairs, otherwise this video is gonna be way too long. We got the water heaters already set up in there, and also we have water and hot water going through the property. Both the water and electricity are on in this property right now. Really, like I said, there's a couple touch-ups, and of course there's the backyard and the deck and that kind of stuff that needs to be done. But whether it's done in 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, it's going to be ready for rent in July, and hopefully the downstairs is going to be the same. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. Leave comments if you have any questions related or unrelated to this specific video. Leave a like, and thanks a lot if you actually watched all the way through, and see you next time.